also in the ensemble.
Hi, I'm Daniel. I'm normally in the ensemble, but I was Shakespeare tonight. So.
I'm Maggie, and I played B.
And fun fact, we're married for real.
What is that?
Shoot!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
How do you get those tight pants on?
Some Crisco and prayers.
Yeah. Beeman, you want to take the tight pants?
It's hard. What's nice is that they're not real leather, which is great. So they're kind of like a faux leather, so they have some give to them. Thank goodness. But yeah, we're normally like I feel like the Bard Boys, we usually put them on like mid-show, so we're already drenched. So it takes like he said a couple prayers to get them on some nights, but it works out well.
We've been joined by Autumn, who plays Portia. Yes, sweetie.
What was your first musical?
Awesome question. You want to start?
Sure. My first musical that I saw was a touring production of Oklahoma, and I saw it in my hometown in Phoenix, Arizona, and we actually got to play that house. And I remember, the second I walked in, I was like, oh, I sat right there. I knew where I sat. I remember.
And what was the first show you did?
Oh, the first show I did?
It's only a few years ago.
Yeah, it was only a couple years ago. Actually, I think I did Cinderella in 6th grade.
Awesome. The first show I ever did was in high school, and it was an old Cole Porter musical called Anything Goes. And I very offensively played Ching, one of the Chinese converts. That wasn't okay in 1997 when I did it. Nevertheless now, but I got the bug playing Ching. First thing I saw was a community theater production of Sweeney Todd, and that was it. That was like, wow. Forget Ching. I want to do this.
First one I saw, I think was Peter Pan. I think it was a touring production of Peter Pan, and
with Sandy Duncan.
Yes, it was with Sandy Duncan. Yes, and I remember the part where we had to like clap really, and like they're like, "Am I really helping? Am I part of this?" And the first show I ever did was Cabbage Patch the Musical. And I was like in 1st grade or something. But then I also did Anything Goes. That was kind of the first like real show that I did in high school.
I think the first show I saw was a high school production of Joseph, I think. Look at that!
Not this production.
Not that one. Yeah, I think my cousin was in it, and I think I just went to go see it. The first show I was in, I was like a child in my high school production of Music Man. So I was like a kid, and my dad worked at the high school, so then I did the show. It was weird, but I was a kid in Music Man, and then my first like not real, but you know, one of my first shows that I did like as a human adult was Next to Normal a few years ago. So.
Oh, good show.
The first show I saw was just the first act of King and I. I was 2, and my mother was also very offensively playing Tup Tim.
Can't do that anymore.
And if you don't know the show, Tup Tim gets kind of roughed up in the second act, and my grandparents didn't think it was appropriate for me to watch that. But apparently I sat on my grandfather's knee and didn't move the whole time. And then 3 years later, I did my first show at 5, a Rodgers and Hammerstein review called Grand Night for Singing.
The first show I saw Beauty and the Beast with my grandparents, like local summer theater. And then after I saw my friends do Oliver in middle school, I was like, I want to do that. So I did Oklahoma, my 8th grade year.
Our first was also Beauty and the Beast to watch with our very own Jeff Brooks was in it.
That's so awesome. Yeah, the guy who played Shylock was Cogsworth in his first show ever.
Yeah. And the first one I was in was Oliver. Got to be one of the orphans.
First show I saw, my sister was in Oliver as one of like the urchins or whatever, and so I was like, I'm gonna do that. And then The first show I was in was a show called The Robber Bridegroom.
Awesome. It's a great
I
one.
love that show so much. I was Goat, I was the simpleton, I made people laugh, and the rest is history.
I don't remember the first show I ever saw, but the first show I ever did in high school was Working. Musical. You've seen it. It's a good one.
What else? Yeah, sir.
This is for Shakespeare.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you're normally in the ensemble and tonight you play Shakespeare. Tell us about how difficult it is to make the shift from an ensemble role to what you did tonight.
Totally.
You've got a great voice. Sir.
Yeah.
That was well done from over there.
Yes. So normally I'm in the ensemble. Normally I play Shakespeare's valet, the guy with like the feather cap, that's like his little assistant. So it's a little easier for me because whenever Shakespeare's on stage, I'm on stage. So I basically just listen to it every night. And we're on like show number like 390 something. So after hearing it 8 times a week for over a year now, it just kind of becomes ingrained. But then in terms of like strapping on the leather and the eyeliner, when you get the text that you're gonna go on, you just kind of have to go over your lines one more time, a couple times, like backstage you're warming up, and you just kind of have to get into a different mindset. Yeah, but like Shakespeare's show is so lonely. He's backstage all the time, and I see all of them running by. I'm like, guys, I'm here. So it's a bit of an adjustment. It is. It's lonely at the top.
Yes.
So this group, we produce and direct elementary school musicals.
Yay! Thank you. Thank you.
What I want to know from you, these kids come from really rough homes, and what's the most important thing we can teach them? I mean, we love them and we cheer for them, but in your shoes, what should we be teaching?
I think more than anything, I mean, especially at that age, they don't need to be learning about anything about it as a, if they fall in love with it and end up wanting to pursue it, that's awesome. But I think that's early to be thinking about putting that in their brains. I think more than anything, the thing theater's really good at is empathy. The whole concept of it is that we put ourselves in other people's shoes so that other people can come watch us put ourselves in other people's shoes so they can put themselves in those shoes and reflect on their own experiences. And that can change lives, both for the people who are stepping into other people's shoes and the people escaping into them. So for kids, I think, you talk about the rough homes, a lot of us found escapism in being able to pretend to be somebody else 8 shows a week. And realizing that there is power in that, and that you can change life. Even doing something as frivolous as this, we've been on tour for a year, and you can feel how much we get to a city and people go, oh my God, I so needed to turn off Facebook and laugh for 2.5 hours, And you feel important, and you feel part of a family. When they're elementary school kids, they're gonna rely on each other in a way, doing a play, that they won't in anything else. Like, if they screw up their lines, they let down their friends. So you find that suddenly they care about doing it right, in a way that if they fail a test, that's on them. But if they screw up their friend's scene, that's a different thing. You're collaborating in a way that makes you family. And I'm sure you already experienced closing night, the kids all cry because they don't want it to be over, right? That doesn't stop. Yeah, exactly, yeah. I think it's the sense of family and escapism into one another, and that they can have a whole nother home life with these people.
And I'd also say working together as a team, that
Yes.
you need each wheel has to be turning, everyone has to be working together. There is no star, and it doesn't work unless everyone is working together. So teaching people teamwork and how to be kind to each other and how to work together and work out solutions and how to tell this story together, because it has to be done together. It's a collaborative art, so I think that's an important element too.
You're here.
Awesome. Yeah.
I was wondering if you guys could, this is just a small peek behind the curtain. After you guys have done this over, you said 390
something like
We're close to
somewhere around
We're
there.
close to 40.
Or is it just awesome still every night? Like, be honest, like after you've done it so many times and you get more comfortable with it, some of the rush probably fades, but what's it really like? Like right now you guys got done, you went backstage, you changed.
Yep.
Can you kind of give us a taste of how emotional, how you guys feel about it still after all
Well,
this time?
oh, go ahead.
Look, I'm just going to jump because I have a different perspective on this as well. Like I said, I'm a male swing for the show, and if you don't know what that is, a swing is a member of the company who's not always on stage. So my job is to be here at the theater every night and ready to go on for any 9 of those troop boys at a moment's notice. And we have gone on mid-show. You know, sometimes you get a text a couple hours in advance, which is great. But otherwise, you're just sitting in the dressing room. So from my perspective, doing the show is never old hat. Because I've had stretches of 5 weeks at a time where I've not been on stage once. So then you get to go on stage and you're like, yeah. But now I've been in the show for a week and a half in one track consistently. And I don't know that I hope this doesn't ruin the magic of it, but it is our job. You know, and just like anyone's job, sometimes you don't want to go do your job. Sometimes you just don't want to go to work at night. But the great thing is, you get to do it with all of these people, and in a moment's notice, someone's smile, someone's laugh, someone's inside joke can completely do a 180 on your mood, and you're ecstatic to be there. That's from my perspective as
I
well.
love it. That's great.
Ha!
He
actually got stuck.
He's in California somewhere. Yeah, we just came. Where did we come from? We just came from Sacramento, and his flight, something happened. So yeah, that's the other thing. Sometimes you get the text at 10 a.m. that you're gonna do the show. So that makes it exciting.
But just so you know, Adam has missed less than a dozen shows in the year we've been doing this tour. So it killed him to not be here. But yeah, he is a staple. He is by no means a flake.
But that's something that also adds, like you're saying, like the show is different every night.
Yeah.
The audience is different. Here, this is our first night in this theater, so we walk out on stage, and what we are looking at is different than what we were looking at in the last theater. The spotlights are in a different spot. There's those green exit signs, and so you're taking in the space, you're taking in the audience, like the pit where the conductor is, and then you know, Ian's on, and Daniel's on, and Cameron was like, all these other people are on, and it adds like this, what's this person gonna do? And it keeps it fresh. And even if it's the same company every night, the audience is different, the show's different every night. And it is hard sometimes, but you have to remember that people paid money to come see this show, and you owe them the show that you rehearsed and opened
Absolutely.
a
They've
year
never
ago
seen
in
the
Boston.
story.
You know, you owe them that show, and so, you know, to share that brand new show with them, that it's not like an adaptation or, you know, or a remake, or so it's a chance to share the show, and so that kind of gives us the energy to give it life.
Absolutely.
I'll also just add that the show is just really fun.
Yes.
This show is
Like,
so fun.
there's
It's
always
not Long Day's Journey.
there's always a moment in the show, like if I'm having a bad day or not, where I either think, one, well, you could be going to an audition at 8 a.m. tomorrow, so be lucky you have a job.
Yeah.
And two, I'm about to go put on an egg costume,
Yeah.
so
Yes, right there in the middle.
As a high schooler, really likes theater.
Yeah.
Wants to go in professionally,
Awesome.
but also likes job security. What advice would you give to them?
Save, Keep up your save. side hustle.
Yeah.
I'll speak to that.
Yeah.
Because parents like to use the word like backup plan. I always say like find something else that's artistic that you like doing that could maybe make you some money on the side, and just have that like in your pocket. Because it's, you know, it's a business of kind of like up and downs and great highs, great lows. But that other creative outlet that you love, maybe not as much as theater, but like you like it enough that like you can do it, collaborate with friends, like that can go a long way in your career to kind of fill in those little blanks.
And just to piggyback off that real quick, one thing to remember